Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love Iland 1. I feel like I need to distinguish it.
Oh, Iland 1.
She's coming. She's coming up.
She
the
is
girls,
coming back.
The literal girls.
The literal girls
are
coming.
So I want to be clear now that we're closer. So if people are searching, if they're doing the SEO. Mm-hmm.
This is Iland 1. Before we get started, we do have just a quick announcement.
Hello, this is Ampliverse Studios. We would like to inform you
that Mangne Friedrich,
all caps,
Friedrich, is currently on hiatus to rejuvenate. You know, he's gotten a lot of attention, and he didn't really prepare for that. So he's taking a break.
He would like to thank we would like to thank everyone for their continued support of this artist.
Yes. And he will come back and will bring better stages in the future.
Yes, this has been Ampliverse Entertainment.
Thank you. He's at a Rover, guys. Okay,
he's at a Rover.
He's having the time of his life right now.
He's living.
Oh, mama. Iland
episode 10.
Wow.
We just finished
it. This is our first straight to video.
Yes, this is our
straight to home video.
I would say this is like The Little Mermaid 2. This is probably my favorite episode of the show.
You know why? There's no stress. No one is stressed involved.
There is stress. There's not the performance stress.
Right.
There's stress.
There's
general stress.
Yes, because someone gets eliminated.
Right. But there's highs. There's lows. There's fun. There's frivolity. Mm-hmm. There's a bright, refreshing concept.
And we're eating.
There's a focus on a specific member being really good at one thing way more than anyone else on the show.
She gets her flowers, girl.
Honey, she gets a bouquet. But first, before we get to 17, before we get to the mini mission, before we get to any of the fun, we have to start with the drama, honey. It's been a week. There's not been an elimination yet. All they know is that Jake won the producer pick for like getting the bonus of the last 24 hours. His votes are doubled. So they're going to now reveal the room switch up based on the midpoint.
This gets revealed after those performances.
So here is the ranking from 1 to 11. Sunoo is 1. Heesung is 2. Sunghoon is 3. Taki is 4. Jake is 5, Jungwon is 6th, Daniel is 7th, Hanbin is 8th, K is 9, Niki is 10, and Jay is 11. And Jay,
once again,
for the majority of the rest of this episode, is like
I'm going to be the one going home.
Goodbye.
I'm saying goodbyes. I have really appreciated my time
I'm
here.
writing my commencement speech. Yeah.
He's writing. Remember that.
He's right. Pen is being put to paper for the most part. Like, they're not really shocked by Sunoo being number 1 anymore. That kind of initial shock of that first episode in part 2 has worn off.
Yes, because now they're like, okay, this is what the girls want.
I would say the big shocks are Taki, K, Niki, and Jay.
K, Niki, and Jay being so low. Being the ones that are like on the outs.
On the verge of a nervous breakdown.
It is.
Well, the third test is it's a concept test. Then they say, but first of all, we're going to have a mini challenge.
Everybody loves pop. Everybody loves 17.
So then they're like, so for the mini challenge, we're going to bring out 17 tomorrow. They're coming here. And you're going to do opposing
concepts.
6 of you will be doing Pretty You. And 5 of you will be doing Hit. First of all, let's have a conversation about 17.
What's there to say? I'm done with this conversation because everything has been said.
Everything has been said.
So I got into 17 solely through Variety. I got onto those YouTube compilations of like the unofficial guide to every member, and it was just a mashup of all of their best going 17 clips. Mm-hmm. And I watched every single member to like get to know everyone's individual character.
Charms.
But Left and Right was like the...
Yes, because this was 2021.
Yes, Left and
that,
Right.
I think, had been their most recent comeback.
Although I already had like Hit and Don't Wanna Cry on my like Spotify playlist.
Oh, interesting.
The first 17 song I ever heard, but not knowing that like this is 17 was Don't Wanna Cry. Which is funny because that was around when the Going 17 started. That was like the first one they did.
Yeah.
They filmed in America.
Mine was
Ready to Love.
one right after. Yeah, mine was Ready to Love.
Yeah.
And she is that girl. For sure.
Because Ready to Love felt the most like dreamboat boy band song.
Oh my God. Flowers. And the first time I saw Boo Sung Kwan, I was like,
who is that voice? My God, Curtis. I got the voice, Curtis.
Kurt. Absolutely. I would not say that it was the voice. Of course it's the voice, to be clear.
Now the girls are going to be like, oh, you don't think Heesung is a vocalist? You don't think Boo Sung Kwan is a vocalist?
This. Last week, my point was is that on the show, there have been very specific people that they were like, these are vocals. Of course Heesung is included. He did the damn vocal performance. However, his narrative on the show is that he is an all-rounder. He is the ace of the show. It is not, oh, he's the vocalista.
Yeah.
Of course he is a vocalista. On God's first of all, I'm an engene.
Do you
think I don't know
that Heesung can't sing?
You think I think Heesung can't sing? Perfect pitch ass Heesung? What are we doing?
They just want to fight you.
Go back to 17. It was
Boo Sung Kwan's
extracurriculars. I just mean he has the vibrancy.
Vibrant. Very colorful.
Yes. Colorful. Sugar in the tank. Boo Sung Kwan is not my bias in 17.
No,
DK is famously.
DK. Because DK is like your dream musical theater.
He's not my alt. I love DK, but he's not my alt bias.
He's not your alt. But he's the most...
But he is the one that I would probably marry.
Yeah. He's like your dream man.
Yeah. He's funny. He's hot.
He's got the voice.
He's got the voice. He reminds me of RJ.
Girl.
None of those people that we're talking about are here today. We have the performance line.
Dino was one of the first things I watched was the Left and Right Studio Choom.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Dino and June obviously stood out to me because their arms are bare.
But the eight's outfit in that video is so
good. It was like Mingyu, Dino were like the main ones that called out to me, who I was drawn to right away.
Spoke to you. Dino was my revelation at the concert.
June was my revelation at the concert.
First of all, it was the damn performance
line. Who I started as my bias. I think it's tied now between Mingyu and Hoshi.
See, this is what I was about to bring up. Hoshi is in my list of idols who could never have another job. They have to be idols.
Yeah.
Hoshi was meant to do this. Hoshi
was meant to do this.
And I'm referring to all facets.
Yeah.
Not just like performance stage, but also like the engagement with the fans, the
personality,
the fan service, da-da-da-da-da. The fact that Hoshi specifically is the reason that I had to turn off Weaver's notifications for 17.
Because the man won't shut up.
Because he won't stop talking. He wishes you a good morning and a good night. And that's so cute.
Yes, and replaces every comment.
I love him. Hoshi's the leader. Ming Hao, the 8. June, who was my first bias in 17. And Dina. Okay, so they come to see these two groups. The girls are like... Pretty You is Sunoo, Daniel, Sunghoon, Jungwon, Jake, and Taki. And Hit is Niki, Heesung, Jae, K, and Hanbin. I would switch Sunghoon and Hanbin.
Yeah, I'd have loved to see Hanbin.
I'm so upset that we don't get a bright Hanbin.
It's so funny that they like consider Hanbin as like a cool, darker girl because he's an amazing dancer.
Oh yeah,
and so he can. But then it goes into that like. It goes into your argument of like
make me start again.
The quote unquote harder choreography is like the quote unquote darker, more masculine.
That's the thing, is like, it's true.
Because it is.
Okay,
I mean,
look at the performances of Hit and Pretty You.
Yeah.
Hit has harder choreography, period.
Yeah.
Pretty You, I could do Pretty You's choreo. And that's saying something. But like, the fact that people who are in Hit, Niki, Heesung, K, J, and Hanbin, probably not Hanbin, would like very much struggle doing that performance because they have never exercised those muscles before of like that kind of energy on stage.
Yeah.
Because really what that energy is, I mean, we can call it bright and we can call it like girl group coded
Refreshing,
or whatever,
whatever,
refreshing,
blah, blah.
whatever, blah, blah. It's musical theater.
Yes.
It's ensemble in a musical.
Yeah.
It's chorus.
Yes.
Smiling while Harold Hill is telling you that River City has trouble.
It's the town square dance.
Yes.
It's the farmer
and the cowman
should be friends. Should be friends. And they all agree.
We're saying that. Now, this is a personal story. So, I used to work at the front desk at my former job, and I was in charge of running the music
And we were telling
for the
the story.
office. So, normally it was just like top 40 nonsense. But like once a week, I would like take one day, and my boss was okay with this, where I would play K-pop. I was sitting with the other front desk person, and he was not a fan of K-pop, but like, girl, deal with it. And Hit was playing, and he was in a bad mood. And he said, "This doesn't even have a melody." And I was so mad because, yeah, it has a what are you talking about? But also be like, shut up and don't speak to me. I also can't, I feel like I can't bring up 17 without mentioning my best friend Ari.
Our best friend Ari, yes.
She has a YouTube channel. We'll link it right here.
Biggest carrot.
She is a huge carrot.
Yeah.
And Jungwon is her
Jungwon
alt
is
bias.
her alt
and
bias.
I just think like people who are Jungwon alts are just, they're a stronger breed. They've got something inside of them that really keeps the fire lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They come, they meet them. It's very cute. Because again, while there was a BTS episode, BTS was just on a screen.
Yes.
It was not live with them. So I think getting to like see them, they're different people than they've been seeing this whole time. And they're like in a way that's different than like Zico and Rain, who are Sunbaes of like kind of a former generation.
Yeah.
17 is like, this is like,
they're
doing the
this.
thing right now.
Yeah.
So it's very sweet. They're all very excited to meet them. Hit performs first for them. And they were like, great, you ate. And they did. They did so well. And then Pretty You goes. And Hoshi has like
the biggest hard eyes for Taki. It's so cute. Hoshi is so happy.
Because Hoshi is so good at this.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Hoshi's so hot, but also so good
cute.
at doing like cute concepts.
Yeah. And like, dude, that's what I love about 17 specifically. They're not afraid to go invest in the time on the different concepts.
Suspenders. Yes. They're so cute. They're so fun.
Like, God of Music is so refreshingly bright.
Oh.
And like, literally the same song they released this year is Super, which is like the Game of Thrones of K-pop.
Yes.
So, and the fact that this group can contain both.
Yeah.
With ease and also like with genuine joy and appreciation for both.
It doesn't feel forced or put on. It doesn't feel
forced or
either
like,
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially, I think it helps that they have so many members.
Truly.
Because you do have members that I think do some
like,
concepts a little bit more in one direction, but they all are so good at both.
Right.
Ugh. I can't believe the first 15 minutes of this episode is just going to be us talking about
It's just
17.
being carrots. Rock With You is one of my favorite K-pop songs of all time.
Say this. Speak on this.
Genuinely. There's something in that driving beat that makes me emotional every time I
Woozy
hear it.
popped off with that
Woozy woozy.
Woozy. Made me woozy with that one. So Jay and June do hit together because they kind of look alike, which is weird because I had never
made that
noticed it until it was pointed out. Yeah.
And Jay like collapses into June. It's very sweet.
It's so cute.
And then Hoshi does Pretty You with Sunoo and Taki.
Well, he's supposed to do it with Taki, and then he pulls Sunoo in as well. Because
game sees game, mama.
Hoshi knows masters at their craft.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
it is really funny when they have Taki do that little encore of his like one part when he goes behind the couch because he's so cute.
He's so cute.
This is such a... Unfortunately, this is one of the best Taki
episodes. Yeah, but it feels like Drag Race editing, where it's like she's leaving, so you're gonna show a lot.
Well, I mean, that's what's weird because built up. I was thinking about that while I was folding clothes. I would agree with you, except every episode of Drag Race, if you go home, you did not have a good day.
Yeah.
So the weird thing about this show is like this is one of his best days.
And it just ended up being...
still happens to be when he goes home. Yeah. Because on Drag Race, it's all contained.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like pulled out a little bit out of sync. But I do understand in being like, they did focus a lot on Taki this episode, so you knew something was going to happen. And then, so they announced that Pretty You is the performance that won the challenge.
Gotta turn my family pictures real quick.
Oh, sorry. Pretty You won the challenge, and
they grant a winner who gets to pick the
Grand
team.
Marshal of the parade is Sunoo.
So they pick the team and the song.
And then we go into this very long sequence where it is fan time with the fans.
Yeah.
So they get invited outside. It's very similar to what happened in Voice Planet. Where they get video messages from
people
fans
around the world
saying how much they appreciate each of the... I'm getting emotional thinking about it because it's so sweet and genuine.
I do genuinely think there's something different here than like Boys Planet, because Boys Planet, by the time they did it, they've already been doing PR. They've already been outside, so they know the impact of the show coming in.
Yes.
This time, they probably got one break, right, in between part 1 and 2. So that's
they
where
had that like month. But I think they were still there.
But they were still there. I think they were still
training.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it does genuinely feel like this is the first time any of them are actually comprehending that, like, oh, we're not training anymore. There are people rooting for us.
The numbers that they are seeing each elimination of being like a million people voted for you.
Yeah.
They are now able to put like faces with it. And it's so much more impactful and meaningful. And there's this moment where... hand me that sign. There's this moment where jungwon... I've always heard like other idols say that like they get a lot of energy and a lot of comfort,
and I've never got it
fans,
as a trainee.
I've never understood as a trainee until now. You can see how much it means to them. You can see how much it affects them, and how like it's like a second wind for them to hear all these like people. And most of them are all saying the same thing. Like they're either doing little bits, which is very funny. They did the muscle bit for Jake, which was hilarious. Or they're just like...
they're just so earnest.
You've given me so much joy.
You've given me so much strength.
But then, you know what I thought? I was like, no one can leave.
Literally.
No one can leave.
This is during the pandemic.
This is like
everyone was locked down.
Except for us in Florida, who...
at this time, we're running theme parks.
We were running essential places of business. Theme parks. Sorry, the trauma is coming back.
I did feel a type of way that they did it at Top 11, because like I wish they did it to start part 2, because I was like, only one person is not experiencing this. Like Gonu could have experienced this as well. It singles out that person who got 12th because they're not able to experience it.
Here's what Gonu, if you're watching this, here we'll give it. We'll do it right now. Gonu,
You brought us so much strength.
You brought us so much joy. Your singing is incredible.
Yes. As the only vocalist in Iland, according to Adam.
Nobody else has been
no one else
fucking
can
singer
sing
on the show.
Yeah, because that's what Adam is saying.
That was verbatim what I said.
That's verbatim what Adam said. You are the only person that can sing.
Thanks for all your hard work. I stan a short king. Right now, I think you have in Just Be. I think you have like rose gold hair,
and it's
absolutely working.
Who knew there were naturally pink-haired idols?
It grew out of his head that way.
Yeah.
Love from Chicago.
They do a little Q&A, so the girls ask questions.
They do a Q&A,
and the questions are. For Jay, it was like, which moment are you most embarrassed by? This one or this one? And they show the first one where he failed all the auditions.
It's
or the second one where it's him crying at the end of part 1.
Yeah.
And everyone is like losing their mind. Everyone is laughing. Jay is like, I've never seen that before.
It's so embarrassing.
Never seen that clip.
That moment is when the 6 of them go to ground.
They were actually them going to ground for like 3 days.
Yep.
Because they go into break after.
Yep. Truly
the funniest part is them seeing that clip and Jungwon is just like stoic.
You know what? Like, wow. Heesung should thank Jay, because if Jay didn't have that moment, it would have been Heesung.
It would have been Heesung.
It was like early in the show.
It was the first ground elimination.
Yes, where Heesung was
crying as if he just killed someone.
Yes, he watched a murder happen in front of his face. There was like a bit where Hanbin and Sunoo were doing.
They were like, Hanbin, we saw you do a girl group in your YouTube videos. Can you do one for us now? And obviously Sunoo was like, I'll get up too, because I know Lavion Rose by IZ*ONE.
Yes, absolutely. The best question was, Sunghoon, how do I marry you?
And he goes.
So then they go back inside. They go to their rooms, and they have these notebooks. And this is like probably my favorite thing I've ever seen, even more than the videos, is these letters.
They are bound. This is when they saw the letters that I was like, well, now I feel extra bad for Ganu.
I know.
Because they like bound them.
Yeah.
And like compiled them and had like fan art in there.
And these are so incredibly sweet. They're reading some of them. There's really... Daniel can't stop laughing that people keep calling him Oppa.
I know. He was like, this is so weird. Daniel Oppa.
But this is what I'm saying. People had time. People were locked indoors. They couldn't leave. Okay, so now they announced the 2 new songs. There is a cool concept and an explosion concept. The cool concept is called Chamber 5 Dream of Dream.
It's giving Hush My Little Baby. Don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a hummingbird.
It's a mockingbird. Oh. Good Lord. And then Explosion song is called Flame. No. Yes.
Flame On.
Flame. I said it and then I was like, no, that can't be right.
Yeah, girl.
Girl, did I write it? Dream of Dreams is it's funny because it's obviously like the mini challenge was to set up this whole thing.
Yeah. Because it's the bright concept, because they're like going to bed because they're so excited.
There is a choreographed pillow fight.
Yeah. Everyone was like, well, we know what Sunoo's picking.
Yeah, we do.
And I would too, girl.
And Sunoo walked right upstairs and he said, excuse me, knock, knock, knock.
Dream a Dream?
Dream a Dream? Chamber 5?
Chamber 5?
Flame On feels very like kind of every other song they've done so far on the show.
Because they've only done... This is the only bright song that they've done so far.
They have done a myriad of other songs. I shouldn't say that there's not variety. Because they've done like a Butterfly and Save Me, and those are different than like Fire or Danger. It definitely feels like they've all been this style.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. Sunoo goes upstairs. He picks Chamber 5 Dream of Dreams, and the teammates he picks with him are Jake, Jungwon, Heesung, and Taki. And then Flame On is everybody else. So it's Jay, Niki, Daniel, K, Hanbin, and Sunghoon.
once they get started at Chamber 5, everyone is like, oh, I don't know if we can do all these facial expressions. And Heesung is like, let's appoint the facial expressions leader, Sunoo.
So cute.
So Sunoo, like, if you could lead us to training. And he's like, okay, everyone go in the middle.
Line up,
please. And I want everyone to do their best
he
facial
does like
expressions.
a demonstration.
Let me show you it's a masterclass.
It's a masterclass.
Yeah.
Download the masterclass app today.
Yeah.
And Sunoo is on there doing.
Yeah. And then he shows how to perfectly do it, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's like, okay, let's go down the line and I'll be grading. And he literally is just like,
he takes it so seriously.
yeah.
And then
Because I do think there's
And then
something
look,
that he's like,
look what his rank is.
first.
Number 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it matters. This is the thing that everyone else who's not Sunoo basically is learning in real time with these global votes. Now that they've officially had 2,
Yeah, girl.
is your personality matters just as much, if not more so. You can be the best dancer on earth, but if you're not given, like, literally look at Niki's trajectory.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything about Niki as a person, but like on the show, he has been so hyper focused. K, Niki, and J. Those are the bottom 3 from that midpoint vote.
Because their trajectory has been to focus on being the best.
Technically
the
perfect.
best. Yeah.
Jay has had. Well, we'll get to Jay's.
Yes,
Jay.
yeah.
Jay
without
this
his
midpoint vote did not include last week's episode.
And I think last week's episode was truly a blessing for him.
Oh yeah, I just think it's very interesting to watch in real time. Everyone kind of like remember. There is the technical prowess, of course, that you need to have. And then there's the personal style that you need to affix on top of that.
Yeah.
That makes people feel like they know you.
Yeah.
Because that's like, parasocial is just a word that, I mean, truly, it's just a word that describes like a one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
It's bad when you like make it mean more than it actually means, but that's what any relationship with any kind of like famous person is in any capacity whatsoever. Yeah. I think Sunoo just kind of sees, and I think it is partially because he's such a fan of K-pop in general.
He knows that's why.
That's part of the game.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the job.
Over at
Flame On. K is growth.
K is humbling herself. K is like, I've learned my lesson. I realized that last week it just made me feel like I was being too greedy. So even though everyone was like, I think you should be the leader, I think you should be part 1. Like, he doesn't want to be leader, right?
Correct.
He recommends Sunghoon. And Sunghoon doesn't even like comprehend it at first. But he's like, I know that K will help me and he believes in me. So maybe I can do it. And he does it. So it's like, it's that thing of he does know that he has like power and presence over everyone.
I mean, it is definitely an age thing. Like, they're all very much respect that
Yes.
he's been doing this for as long as he's been doing it. I really liked this moment because it really did show his issues on the show have not been anything to do performance wise.
No.
Every performance he is slaying in the game, it is about him learning kind of his interpersonal skills with everybody. And there's so much, of course, the end goal of the show is to be in the group. But there's so much growth you see happening from all the trainees.
I mean, if you think about it, he's a marathoner. That is something that
That's
you
like
train
it's like tennis.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. It's you doing it.
Yeah, it's you pushing yourself to your body's absolute maximum limit. You don't get the chance to like be like, and how do I work as a group?
Yeah.
When you do that, I really like this trajectory for K. It's very sweet, and I think it sets up his future career so much more.
Totally.
I'm sure he was devastated when he did not get this. We haven't even seen the episode yet, but I'm sure it's like hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was hard. This time he spent on the show proved I can only imagine proved to be so valuable
Totally.
because there's so much he learned about himself and how he works with others. Taki, because Taki leaves at the end of this episode, is like, Bang PD says it like, you have so much raw talent. It just needs to be like honed and crafted. But he says to both him and Daniel, like, you're 15, 16 years old. Most people are just starting to think, maybe I should like start playing the piano. Maybe I should start singing. Maybe I should learn how to dance right now. Look how much farther you are ahead in the game. You have a step up and you've been on this. You've learned so much from these like masters of their craft, blah, blah, blah. If you can recontextualize these things in your mind, it doesn't have to be trauma. And we throw that word around a lot, especially in our comments. They'll be like, this was a traumatic experience for everyone. And I'm sure to some extent it sucked. But also like, it's an incredibly valuable experience too. It can be both and. Sunghoon is the leader. Flame on. But K gets position one.
They're like, no, you should be part
They
one.
vote him position one,
very
even
funny.
though his
he was
recommendation.
Like, I think Hanbin should be part one. And you could see Hanbin literally was like,
is there another Hanbin? Who? It's very
no, girl.
Jay is like, well, I'm going home. I'll just like learn Daniel's part just in case, but like there's not really any point. So while you rehearse, I'm gonna go over in a corner and write some letters.
And write letters to everyone. Because he is convinced that he is going to go home. He gives the letter to everyone. He knows himself enough that it might devastate him a lot. So he's trying to already make sure that he's prepared for it. He writes everyone letters. It's when this moment happened, I told Adam, like, he is still being so genuine to himself. Like, this is clearly something that I could tell. He's not doing this for whatever. He genuinely wants to do it. And it's that's making him so much more charming and people like falling in love with him.
Yeah. He respects everybody so much that he's going to write them a letter to tell them how much he does respect them. And he has fully accepted that he is going home. He is like truly at a place where he's like, see you later, girls. And it does not come off as manufactured or forced or like he's a cunning individual who's like playing the game. Like, this feels so genuine and honest to who he is as a person. And it's like, I'm really reckoning with the fact that Jay could be my bias soon. Like, it's really like, it's crazy. From this show. Truly. The other thing that I would have told you before we started watching this, based on the group, based on just my knowledge of them and their skills, my guess would have been that Niki coasted right through this competition. He was safe every week. He was set. And to see every week that he is always like
in the bottom,
just on the verge of leaving is, I mean, it happened, but I cannot believe it. It's so crazy to me.
Because now you're watching, it's like, oh, like now watching enhypen, it's like, clearly, truly.
That is enhypen. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Sorry, I think this show is so good. I don't care. Okay. Talking heads that they like made for each other. So here's a list of who all gets messages. Kay gives a message to Niki.
It was not.
Jake gives a message to Sunghoon. Sunghoon gives a message to Sunoo. Sunoo gives a message to Taki. Taki gives a message to heesung. Jay gives a message to Kay. And that's the only ones we see. So we don't know the others. I thought those were very sweet. And Sunghoon cried.
Someone cried.
Which I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah, we finally got to see him cry because I think it came from someone there. Like, it came from Jake, who was genuinely like, I actually look up to you.
Yeah. And then heesung has this really vulnerable moment.
I know.
Where he like can't talk because he like is so emotional. And he says like the realization of the fact that like there are 11 of us right now and only 7 are going to make it in this group. So inevitably there are people sitting here right now that are not going to make it.
Yeah.
But I did not expect to like all of you as much as I do. Here's the elimination. Ready? In first place, with 1 billion votes, a 7th of the global population all voted for this man, Kim Sunoo. This is deserved. Period. In second place is heesung.
Heesung.
In third place is Jay. It is so.
It is insane.
It's the cliffhanger. It's the commercial cliffhanger.
Everyone is going wild. Everyone is going crazy. Jay
the judges have lost. The producer panel has like all like.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And also extremely deserved. And his episode
last week truly was like.
You can thank those editors, Jay.
Absolutely.
Thank the fuck out of them.
Yeah. Someone on the comments said that brand of honey sold out.
That's crazy. Fourth. Fourth is Hanbin.
This would have ruined me. I would have lost my mind if I watched this live.
Oh my God.
Because I would have probably fully resigned that like, oh, Hanbin's going next because they showed him 0 times last episode.
Correct.
Even in this one, they still haven't. They still refuse to show him.
Yes,
And
he's in group shots.
He's in group shots
A lot, but he is never someone they cut to in a talking head. He's never in a scene. There's just no narrative, and I think it is probably hard because he's not dramatic. He's really amicable, amiable.
Yes.
Is good. He like there's not, but he's not. He's good, but not great. And I don't mean that to be like he's not great, but he's not one of the aces of the show that everybody keeps being like, wow.
Yeah.
He's just like really stable
solid,
and
yeah.
solid. Well, I was thinking of Boys Planet. Like, who is kind of the...
Hiroto.
I would say Hiroto, or I would say like Lee Jung-yeon. Where like...
Yes.
Lee Jung-yeon did not have a storyline on that show at all.
Time
no.
whatsoever.
None. Zero.
But he was like...
There was Over Me where he was like, can I rewrite the rap? And they were like,
sure.
Oh, I didn't know you were here. And so they let him do that. And it's not the same, right? Because Lee Jung-yeon, I'll be honest, a lot of his appeal is that he looks like
visual?
that.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hanbin would be the one-to-one in that capacity, but like...
No, because I would say his appeal is he's a great dancer, but he's against people who are exceptional dancers.
Excellent dancers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hanbin got 4th place.
Hanbin got 4th.
With no screen time.
And we celebrate that. 5th is Sung-hoon. 6th is K. 7th. So this group debuts right now. 7th is Jake.
Isn't that crazy?
There's no Jungwon and there's no
Jungwon
Niki.
and Niki. That is insane. Just like think about that.
They would have made K the leader.
They would have made K leader if that was the case.
Yep, because he would have learned his lesson.
Uh-huh.
Da-da-da-da-da. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. But if Jungwon doesn't get first because he's not in the 7th group, who would they have made center?
It would have been Sunoo.
Would have been Sunoo.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just wild. And this is one of the other reasons I really like this episode is because of the shocking.
Absolutely.
It's the classic, like we're right before the finale. People aren't voting like they should be. This is like
showing Gyuvin as like 13th.
That's
or
immediately
whatever.
when I thought of.
Yeah.
The Gyuvin drop.
Yeah, the Gyuvin drop. And everyone started voting.
Yeah.
Because it was Ricky. Ricky had made it was the first time Ricky made top 9.
Yes.
And guess what, Mimi?
She did.
She did.
Jungwon is 8th. Niki is 9th. And he says, I promise I'll practice harder and dance better.
And we're like, Niki,
that's actually at your level, it's not
Niki,
possible.
that actually isn't why you're 9th place.
Truly, I don't necessarily know. why he's at ninth place.
Yeah.
Because other than the fact that I do think in part 2, he's just not really been given a storyline.
Yeah.
He had a very strong storyline in part 1. Some of it to his own detriment. And then in part 2, he's kind of just been there, but like been so good that they can't not mention it. So I don't know if people are just still mad about part 1 or what. It's so fascinating, guys. I did not expect that from this show. And then 10 and 11 is Daniel and Taki goes home. And Daniel gives his little speech.
It's so crazy that Daniel, for the second time in a row.
I know. And then Daniel goes up and gives Taki a hug and calls him Taki Hyung.
So crazy. I kept being like, Taki Hyung. Oh my god.
I can't. It's so, you can't. I've said this every week. You can't write this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
This is so good.
It's so good.
Ugh.
And I do love that Bang PD was like, I picked you because of your locking videos. And I was afraid how you were going to do in Iland. Like, it just shows that you have room for growth.
And Niki and Kay are distraught.
Yeah, it's really sad. They all really love Taki. And that's it. No performances, except for Pretty Ewan.
Which were, that was fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fun.
That was fun.
I'm glad that they're now injecting more fun in the show. Because you could tell that the fact that when they got that thing of like, there's a surprise for you outside, and Daniel ran out. Because he was like, please let us out of this
we
fucking
need to
box.
talk more about how Daniel is fully like 14 years old in this episode.
know, it's so
He's
cute.
so like hyper. Oh my god. And then all I could think about was if this whole Pledis situation is true and he's really going to debut in this Pledis
Those are
group,
his real
then-
sun base.
Yeah. Though that's
Because remember, I think it was the Seoul one where they did a fan con and they were like, our Pledis trainees are here. And it was Hoshi.
yeah.
Was like, I probably shouldn't be saying that, but they're here and I'm so excited for them. Make sure you support them. And they do show them. They're all masked, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're like, woo.
Yeah.
I was not aware of Daniel at the time, so
No.
I'm sure I can go back and people are going to be like,
It's the tall one.
The tall one is
the
Daniel.
7-foot man. That's Daniel.
Burrito with white rice, black beans, steak, mild tomato, hot red, sour cream, and cheese. The way he says steak.
Discovery questions.